Well, I mean, first, let's introduce you to the show. This is our Game of Thrones podcast. Talking Thrones. I don't know what sort of lame shit do they have.
Game of Talking.
Game of Talking.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones doesn't lend itself to a talking pun.
No, everyone
Thrones,
hates it now.
Bones,
I think
game.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess that's cool.
Thanks.
Well, Thanks to the last two episodes.
Like satisfying, probably like how Emperor Palpatine felt when he turned Anakin to the dark side. He's like, yes, welcome to the dark side.
Yes, you are with me now.
Except for in my case, it's welcome to having good taste, not just consuming all the garbage that major corporations feed you.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like I don't know that George R. Martin. Don't get mad at me for saying to be fair.
I'm not. It was a reference to Letterkenny. You ever watched that show?
No, but supposedly it's really good.
It's pretty funny. It's worth watching. They only have like 6 episodes a season, which is fucking perfect.
Canadians, eh?
Yep.
I think Kevin Smith is supposed to be on it, if I remember Twitter correctly.
Oh, Letterkenny is now canceled for me.
You like Kevin Smith?
No, not as the older I get, the less I can stand Kevin Smith.
I like him as a person. I don't know, whatever.
I mean, I don't think he's a bad guy or a terrible guy. I just know I would not want to hang out with him.
I bet he'd be great to hang out with. Because he's basically what all your friends in high school would do, which is just talk about movies the entire time.
Yeah, that's true. But I just don't like other people's opinions.
Oh, well, then why would you hang out with anybody?
I don't. No, I mean, it's just...
Oh, we're talking about Game of Thrones.
Wait, no, the one thing I want to bring... Anytime he posts one of his reviews for a movie, especially like a Marvel movie or a comic book movie on YouTube or whatever, he does not really review the movie in a critical way at all, or really talk about the movie. He just kind of regurgitates the plot beats. And it's like, okay, man... I can watch the movie myself. I don't need you to just explain it to me. And then not offer any criticisms or anything on technique or anything like that. It's like it's cool, man. You're excited about all this like comic book cape shit or whatever. But
I don't read his reviews, so I mean, I don't know why if you don't like it, why do you go out of your way to watch it?
I don't know. I think I mentioned before, like desperate need to consume information all the time.
Yeah, but there's other information you can consume.
Yeah, but then if I don't like something, well, it's just like sometimes I'll get stuck in like YouTube wormholes. Where like, one of his reviews for like Justice League will be recommended to me, and I'll watch it and be like, "This is crazy. This is terrible. This is crazy. They can't all be like this, right?" And then I'll watch like 3 or 4 more and be like, "Oh no!"
I feel like you have to know the kind of person Kevin Smith is at this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta keep your enemies close.
All right, I'll inform Kevin Smith. You'll see him as an enemy.
I don't want anyone to ever be able to accuse me of not having any context for my opinions. So I just get way too much information about it.
When I don't have context, I'm like, I just don't know.
Well, I don't know. I gotta be prepared for all these theoretical arguments that might take place. I think I just exist.
Time well spent.
I exist in my own like paranoid world, I guess.
So how's writing on the Florida man versus the aliens going?
It's great. I'm finding the main character to be really relatable. Speaking of which, skinwalkers, man, they're out there.
You've said this before, but I've seen
Apparently,
wargs are skinwalkers. Game of Thrones.
Skin changers.
Skin changers.
Apparently, you're not supposed to talk about skinwalkers, or that will bring them to
me. I don't think that's
I mean, but it hasn't caused a problem for me yet. So maybe you have to be Navajo for the skinwalkers to not.
Maybe you actually have to believe in them.
Oh,
it's like one of those things, how all that exoteric shit works.
Yeah, where they're like, well, the reason why every time you've tried to perform a ritual, Kyle, and nothing happened is because you didn't believe. Well,
that's fucking convenient, isn't it?
Wow. Oh, great. So the power of belief is more powerful than ancient demons.
If only gravity worked that way, or magnetism, or any other fundamental force of the world.
I don't believe in gravity anymore. Later. All right, Game of Thrones. Whatever. I just was thinking.
I just thought there's no way they can disappoint me more than the 3rd episode, and here we are.
I was
big dick crossbow man.
I was ready for it. I actually really don't like seeing the dragons die.
Yeah, me too. It bothers me.
Yeah,
Well, actually, I don't like seeing the wolves die.
Yeah, no, I have a visceral reaction to it. I guess just because it's animals.
Yeah, a pet thing.
But yeah, they're pets. Yeah.
Like that reminds me. I started rereading Game of Thrones or listening to it.
I've been listening to highlights too. Have you ever listened to The Forsaken, the Wins the Winner Euron preview chapter that George read a few times?
No, I haven't. Is it really good?
Yeah, it's like fucking Euron. So he's a bit of a cartoon character in the books too,
but he's like
spooky and
he's like an Emperor
weird.
Palpatine cartoon character. You know, he's a guy that wears Valyrian steel armor, which is worth more than the entire Seven Kingdom.
Reveal it is in that Forsaken chapter.
Oh, okay, maybe I have read
it. He's like, "What up, pimpin' ain't easy," and his brother is like, the damp hair is like, "Oh shit, man, he's really been to Valyria." Because people don't take him that seriously. But
yeah,
it's like,
well,
no,
and the other thing
crazy.
for you show people, if you go to Valyria, you don't come back. Anybody that's ever gone there,
it doesn't return,
including like an entire fleet from Astapor, I think at one point.
Yeah, Tyrion's uncle.
Yeah, Tyrion's uncle went there to try to retrieve the family sword, never came back.
Yeah,
Tyrion's favorite uncle.
Yeah, what was it, Garen?
But I'm listening to it on audiobook as I like do chores and stuff, and they do such a good job, or George R. R. Martin does such a good job of like introducing the dire wolves and making you care about them. And like I'm like just finished Sansa's chapter where Lady is killed at the end, and like what the fuck are these showrunners doing with these wolves?
Here's the thing, they didn't know what they were doing with anything. In my opinion, a lot of people like, oh no, they're just racing to the finish.
No, it's pretty clear they don't know what they're doing.
They didn't know what they were doing at any point making this.
This
series. They were like always just jumping from one cool moment to the other.
One of these guys wrote X-Men 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all.
I mean, aside from that, one of the most quoted interviews from them early on was how they were like, yeah, we just really wanted to get to the Red Wedding because we thought that'd be cool on TV. All right, cool, man. That's a great way to write a story, just to get to one event and then not have a plan after that.
Or before that.
Or really any of the events that are going to lead up to it. So they just never were good. And that's just... I remember not to be one of those elitists who's like, oh, the books are better, blah, blah, blah. But I remember watching the first episode.
Yeah.
And aside from the books being better or whatever, it was still like... this looks like a TV show. Look at how flat it's shot. Look at how bad the lighting is. Look at how it's close-ups. And then close-up of another actor. Establishing shot. Close-up. I was like, this is some bland shit. And like you said, I've been listening to highlights. I've only been listening to certain POVs because anyone listening to the book, every chapter is written from the POV of a specific character. So I've just been going through the ones that I always were the most interesting, like Arya's. I like seeing her actually go through the lands of Westeros and see what's happening to the regular people. But the realization I came to is fucking Song of Ice and Fire. That world is fucking weird. It should be flamboyant to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And even when it's still early on in the story and it's more grounded, it's not quite as magical. It's still just a weird fucking place.
Well, yeah, not only that, but the world breathes too in the book, and especially in the last couple seasons, where are all the people that inhabit Westeros? What's going on in King's Landing?
I saw some ants, some CG ants that came in one of the gates, and they even disregard the own world building they did specific to the show, where King's Landing it changes. It's constantly.
Yeah, I sent you that picture, right?
It's what the fuck, and I don't know. The Godswood in Winterfell looks like you walk in through the portcullis, the front gate, and then just go left, and you get to the Godswood. But then it takes the Night King forever. I don't know. It's just a bad show, and a lot of people early on made the argument well, it can't be as fantastical as the books because the audience isn't there for it. But because Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter were the hugest franchises around at the time, leading up to Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
So I don't believe that shit. I just think you got two guys with no vision who hired other people with no vision.
That's not fair because whoever is doing the score is really knocking it out of the park.
I guess the whole thing, it's there occasionally something will stand out, but it's it's TV show. It's so relative to oh, this event's happening, so you know what I mean. It's the TV show scores are really manipulative. I think the guy that does it is probably really talented and could do scores for better things, but it's just the manipulative
I think all scores are manipulative. It's just that it's just a matter of
it's just so broadly manipulative in TV shows. I feel like.
Yeah. Well, I think part of the problem too in like Game of Thrones is like it's manipulating you, and then but the thing you're you
like what. Why? Why'd that happen?
If the action matched the manipulation, it'd be perfectly fine. Like it just seems so inconsistent. Like Dany is flying ahead of the fleet on her dragons, and like she doesn't see the crazy pirate fleet coming at her. And
but yeah, they're hiding behind a corner of an island.
Okay, that's how sight works when you're 100 feet in the air, right?
Well, if you
like we saw all the Dothraki die basically, except for a few that ran back, and then somehow only half of them.
Well, there's shots in that episode where it looks like there's like 10 people left.
Yeah, at the end when John's running through, it looks like there's like a dozen people left, and they're all people we know.
Luckily, it was only half of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you listen to like the inside,
I can't. George R. R. Martin would not have written a battle this nonsensical.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. And some of these events that are transpiring, I'm sure that is the ending that Martin had in mind.
Yeah, but it's just not playing out.
Events leading up to it and the context for all these events would have been made it so these events were fulfilling. This just seems like this happens and then this happens and then this happens and then Dany forgot about the Iron Fleet, which is exactly what one of the writers said.
Yeah, I read that or I saw that interview.
She just forgot about him. No big deal. And it's like fucking So here's the thing: they fucked up the Dorne plot so bad.
Oh my god!
They had to
I can't even get it
and try to introduce the Ironborn as quick as they could. And so like, shit, hire this actor. Okay,
they fucked up the Dorne plot so bad, and they managed to fuck up Jaime's plot in the Dorne plot with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I liked Bronn going along with Jaime because like
that's fine, whatever.
Because Bronn was a cool character in the show, whatever, and like I liked the interaction. But Jaime should still be going around Westeros and seeing the horrors of war. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah. Nah, he's got to go to Dorne for some reason.
This is his daughter.
Because we can't introduce new characters without other characters being there. No one will want to watch those scenes. Our audience is a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the D&D.
Yeah,
they treat their audience like idiots.
That's the thing. The people are still supporting them and like, no, the show's still good. You just don't get it. Blah blah. It's like fucking these dudes are shitting on you every week. They are specifically calling out the audience like, you guys are idiots. It doesn't matter. You can't handle this shit. Like whatever. Here's just some idiot shit for you. They are specifically being antagonistic to you, and you're like, oh no, let me suck that corporate dick. I just love this Game of Thrones merchandise.
I am gonna reread all the books. I think.
Apparently, I want to, but I'm like, man, fucking. Winter's not even out yet. When's this shit can happen? It's been like. So you convinced me to read the books.
Shit, here's like when I started
2005 or 6.
Yeah. Here's what I realized when I started, listening to him again. Like when I first started reading these books, I didn't have any kids. Mm-hmm. Now I am the same age as Ned in the book when it starts. He's 35. I'm 35. I think I started reading these right after the second book came out in like 2003 or 4, and like. It's crazy to me, and I have a very different reaction to Bran and Sansa and like the whole subplot with the kids than I did when I first read it.
Yeah, because you have a different life
now. Yeah,
like oh damn, kids are in danger.
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, it's been a long time, and I remember waiting. So you convinced me to read them.
It was probably on 2004 or 5.
Well, luckily it was right when Feast for Crows had come out, even though there was kind of a long wait in between.
Oh, was it that long afterwards? Okay.
Well, because the Game of Thrones came out in 1996.
Yeah. And I think it was 98 was the first one, and then 99 was the second one. I think I started reading 99.
Yeah. So I was definitely out of high school, but like maybe just barely. Like I was 19 maybe. Mm-hmm. And yeah, luckily you convinced me to start reading them, and by the time I was like kind of getting towards the end of Storm of Swords, I think Feast for Crows had just come out already, so I was able to just immediately read that one, and then waiting 6 years for Dance with Dragons, also the same summer that the TV show started. I remember I was like, oh cool, like finally it's happening, and then the show came out, and I was like, oh whatever, it seems like a TV show, who cares? And luckily the next book, there's no way it'll take another 6 years, right?
8 years later.
And yeah, here we are. It's been, so that was 2011, so it's been 8 years.
7 years, yeah.
So, yeah. This summer, I think it will be 8 years.
Damn. George R. R. Martin. Damn.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. A lot of people like fuck D&D. I mean, no, whatever. They're TV writers. Who cares? I'm more.
George R. R. Martin's a TV writer too.
Yeah,
he wrote for that Ron Perlman Beauty and the Beast
or show. Yeah, I just wish he would have finished the books. That's the thing I'm most angry about.
Yeah, me too. Whatever. But what I was going to get to is like someone created a reading order that combines Feast for Crows and A Dance with Dragons.
Oh, the Boiled Leather?
No, it's called Ball of Beasts.
Oh, there's another one called Boiled Leather, I think, which is...
But that's how I'm going to, when I get to the third and fourth, or fourth and fifth book, that's how I'm going to reread it all.
I'm
switch between the two.
Cool. Why did they come up with the names? I'm like, why would the reading order be Boiled Leather or Ball of Beasts?
I think a Ball of Beasts makes sense because it's a feast for crows and a dance with dragons. It's a ball of beasts.
Interesting. There's a lot of people that put a lot of work into the, I guess, fan community of A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
Not the people that watch the TV show though. They just seem to always like make cakes or crochet shit and post it on Reddit. Like, look, it's a dire wolf cake I made.
No one's writing essays about the TV show.
I mean, so yeah, as nerdy as that is, or pretentious, or whatever, like some people are like putting in serious work and thought into this world that George R. R. Martin created, and I think that's much more interesting than someone who's like, look, a pillow I made. You know what I mean? Like, okay.
I do like when they cook lemon pies or honey pies and shit.
Yeah, but that's because someone wrote a recipe book about
I saw that.
The food in the books. So someone did a bunch of work first, based off of George R. R. Martin's work, and then now people are like, hey, Reddit, look, I made a cocktail from this book that someone else wrote.
I don't think there's a cocktail in that book.
Oh,
also, you can't get aurochs anymore. They're extinct.
Well, I think there might also be a cocktail book then.
Oh, is there?
You can get like drinks.
The one I remember seeing one of like 10. This is before the show even started. There was one from the books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you know they have like lamprey pie in the book. I feel like that one wasn't in the recipe book though, because that was the one I really wanted to check
lamprey
out.
pie. I do like lamprey.
Yeah. Anyways,
and we watched.
I guess this is our Game of Thrones podcast. It has been, to be honest and open up about my feelings, and I have been like super emotional lately for some reason. I'm like on my month-long man period. It has been weighing on me, like how disappointed I am in. Because that's the thing. I didn't like the TV show just because it was a TV show, and I don't think they're made very well.
But like this is like especially bad.
Yeah, and also I had to resign myself. Like, oh well, this is the only way I'm going to see the ending for this story that I've invested so much of my life in, which is nerdy as shit or whatever. But like, I don't know, those books meant a lot to me, and it is just really disappointing that like this is it. If he doesn't finish the books, like this is it.
I think we're definitely gonna get a wins
the winner.
Wins the winner, but I don't know if we're gonna get the one after that.
Dream of Spring.
We're gonna have the Dream of Spring.
We'll just
I know. Honestly, I'm not convinced that he's not gonna need two other books after Wins the Winner.
Well, that's he's a gardener, right? That's what he always says. Yeah. So like he doesn't even know what. You know what I mean? He's like not. He's already.
Are you a Discovery writer or outliner?
I'm an outliner.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm Discovery. I have to start writing. I can't.
Well, I'll discover things about characters. The characters I.
Oh, so you're a Stephen King. You discover write your characters, but you outline and plot out your story. I think that's how Stephen King does it.
Yeah. So the because the characters need to seem like real people. The only way to do that is to, like the exercise I do, I guess, is like. Imagine them as a real person, and then mentally ask like questions to them, like how they respond.
We're really far afield of where we're going. Bloodsport.
But,
we'll save this for the Space Force Horizon thing.
But then like if there's like events that I want to happen, like, and I fucking hate things that are so open ended, and you can tell someone's just kind of like meandering to whatever thing they get to. So like I always have to like make sure I have like the ending like stuck. Anyway, hey, Bloodsport kind of does that, maybe. I don't know. I think they just didn't... We need to talk about the real-life Frank Dukes.
Yeah, fake Dukes?
Yeah, fake Dukes. So, they save it for the very end of the movie to reveal...
Man, 56 knockouts in a row. How many people are in that tournament?
Someone did the calculations, and it would have to be like 70 quadrillion people. So more than the population of the Earth.
Well, it could be round robin. We don't know how the tournament was laid out.
I guess. But some people were dying. So they wait till the end to reveal.
How ridiculous.
Frank Dukes was a real man. Everything that Frank Dukes ever talked about, there's no evidence for. He's basically, everyone knows he's just a major liar. But yeah, apparently he participated in all these full contact secret blood sports all around the world that no one else knows about ever. Not even secret. Another single individual.
It's secret.
Apparently, the Kumite he attended though took place in like the Bahamas or something.
Oh, sweet! Way better than Hong Kong.
Would have been an interesting location.
You can swim in Bahamas. You can't swim in the Hong Kong waters.
Maybe you could in
I guess 87? In the 80s, 88 you could
have. My favorite thing in this movie actually though is they go to the walled city Kowloon.
Yeah, and which is not there anymore, right?
They tore it down in like '93. But I've always been super interested in that place. So I was like, man, what if this movie was just about the walled city? Kowloon.
I gotta say though, like the overall plot from this story, obviously Mortal Kombat basically just lifts it and then vomits I think Big Trouble in Little China all over it.
Yeah, Tobias or Boone, one of them was just like, yeah, we just wanted to make Bloodsport, but like crazier.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, they did it. And now Mortal Kombat 11, all the way up to 11, man.
But the plot in this movie is just really, it works so well. It's such a great martial arts plot.
Yeah, you just go into a tournament to fight.
Yeah, but they lay it out like it starts off and they're like, oh, they're setting up the tournament and you're meeting all these fighters. Then you get probably the longest backstory of anybody or flashback.
It is actually world record longest flashback.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's just under 11 minutes.
Yeah, it's long
and it's great. It has some of the best overdubbing.
There's a lot of just weird ass ADR in this movie.
Well, you may have noticed this was made by Canon Films.
I
right?
sure did.
Yeah, that's right. The Golden Boys are back. Yeah, so Canon Films, if you go all the way back to our very first episode, I think I kind of laid down who Canon Films is.
Some ADR work on that one, too. It's just they have shitty sound.
We've done a few other Canon Films. Oh, maybe it's just Cobra and...
We did Over the Top, but we
didn't make it to air. So yeah, this
we'll have to go back and do that one.
Yeah, third Canon film. Canon's great. They're just known for making shitty like exploitation movies in the 80s, really. And a lot of people will be like, "Oh, this is an exploitation movie. There's not like over the top violence and nudity and blah blah." Well, it was different in the 80s. What they're exploiting is this weird martial arts like fantasy violence craze in the 80s, which is what a lot of their movies do. And I guess this is like their magnum opus a little bit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they also did.
Did they do Kickboxer? Which is I think comes out after this.
Kickboxer is Jean-Claude Van Damme's next movie, and I do believe Canon did that. They might have.
I just remember.
No, they
I always remember. I think it's Hot Shots Part 2 that makes fun of it. And he's like dipping his hand in like Reese's peanut butter. It's like in an ice cream bar.
Yeah. I think they did make like Kickboxer. Basically, any like weird 80s or early 90s like kung fu bad American martial arts movies you think of as Canon. They did it. Chuck Norris movies, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Stallone's early career. I mean, they made a lot of stars, and a lot of people have seen these movies, but they went out of business in like 93 or 94, so they weren't doing.
They were burning their money.
They didn't know what they were doing.
Bloodsport is a classic. I'll say I actually really enjoyed it. Probably the first time I've seen it since I was a kid. But
the last time I remember watching it, I was probably 11 years old, and like we were here in Arizona over the summer, staying in like a hotel room, and it happened to be on, and I was watching it with you and Dad. I think that's the last time I remember seeing it. And Bolo Yeung.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Bolo Yeung.
How is his pectorals, his man titties, his giant chest? How is that like over 2/3 of his body?
I don't know. He is not built like your average Chinese person or average person. Period.
He does not look normal.
No, he's crazy.
It's so weird to see him now.
See him hopping around and like when he's doing his fist pumping thing. Mm-hmm. Fucking scary looking dude.
Well, I mean, so end of the day, he's only like 5'7".
Yeah,
so you
still just pick him up and put him somewhere else.
Yeah, just put him on top of the fridge or something. But no, he's probably strong as shit. Honestly, like his upper body is crazy. Yeah, like, he'd probably kill me. I don't know. But
I thought it was funny that they made him South Korean in this movie because he is actually Chinese. I remember hearing...
I think it's because of Frank Duke's story.
They had to be real accurate.
His story, yeah.
I remember hearing a crazy story. I don't know if it's true that he grew up in mainland China, but he swam to Hong Kong.
Oh, that's why his traps are so big.
Yeah,
that makes sense. and to make that big swing.
I don't know if that's true or not. Or it's just like one of those old wives' tales.
I don't know. Maybe he'll hit us up, call into the show.
Yeah, Bolo Yeung, you can call in at 480-555-5555.
Damn, you gave away the area code for the Phoenix metropolitan area. Yeah, he's great in it. We gotta go back to the flashback though. It's my favorite part of the movie because it's so bad. I love the young
Frank Dukes.
Young Frank Dukes. He's overdubbed. He kind of has a French accent, I guess. He's, I was going to steal the sword.
I was put it back. Are you called cop? I love that he's wearing a San Francisco Giants hat, but a New York Giants jacket.
So he's just a fan of the concept of Giants. That's
why he makes friends with Ray Jackson.
Yeah, he's like, I just really like Giants. I don't care, what city, what sport. I just like Giants. I like the idea of them. He said, the flashback sets up everything you need to know about Frank Dukes. Also, he's in the military. He's a CIA.
That part makes no sense.
It's just one of the many interesting
dynamics of Frank Dukes.
Yeah, of his life. He was a secret agent.
I feel like when Frank Dukes is pitching this to the studio, they're like, maybe we just cut the Army CIA stuff, Frank. It's not important. No one doesn't really serve the story at all, so just get rid of them, right? He's like, nah. You don't know what it's like to be the Dukes.
No, man, it was important they showed up at the tournament. Also, I banged 6 ladies at once. Put that in the movie. Put it in there, all right? I could also drink 3 gallons of whiskey. Yeah, so, Tropic Thunder, Nick Nolte's character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I forget it, 4-leaf or whatever.
Yeah.
And it all just turns out to be bullshit. That's Frank Dukes.
Be careful, Kyle. He's gonna come roundhouse kick you to the face.
Apparently, he personally trained Jean-Claude Van Damme for this movie because he didn't think Jean-Claude Van Damme was in good enough shape when he first arrived. And JCVD was like, it honestly was like the hardest training I've ever done. So he might have been like pretty badass at working out back then.
Yeah, he might have been like a legitimate martial artist, but not actually be.
Well, no, that we have. He supposedly was a legitimate martial artist too, like kickboxing and stuff like that, but.
There's no records of him actually doing anything.
Participating in him. I think he was just a spectacular liar that probably worked out a lot. Yeah.
Man, that's what I could be.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, though, he is a world-renowned kickboxer. He was at one point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of guys in this movie that you can tell just by the way they move are actual kickboxers.
Oh, yeah.
That one guy he fights at the end right before Bolo.
Yeah, there's like Muay Thai guys, Jiu-Jitsu guys. There's like actual martial artists in it. Choreography's not that great though.
I think Frank Dukes was a choreographer.
I think you might be right, which would explain why he doesn't. He's like, yeah,
just kick him a lot.
I was thinking, there's a part where he does the Johnny Cage nut punch.
Yeah.
Or I guess Johnny Cage does
his nut punch.
That one dude he's fighting in it, the biggest man in the tournament. Honestly, he's not a sumo, but he looks kind of like a big strong.
Yeah.
But he also kind of looks like Adam Driver, like Kylo Ren.
Like a Asian-ish Kylo Ren.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. It's Kylo Ren. He's going to fight JCVD.
The craziest thing about the flashback to me is just how little sense it makes.
What do you mean? He's trying to impress cool kids, and they break in to steal...
A kumite sword, I believe, is what we were supposed to gather from the end.
Well, no, he says it's a katana.
Right, but he gets a sword at the end that's just like that, and he's like, you can't get a katana sword. You can't steal a katana sword. Let me give you a backstory right now that's very similar to Pat Moriarty and Karate Kid.
Pat Morita.
Oh, damn.
Pat Moriarty, he's Irish. Oh, his name's Pat? What the hell?
I have Moriarty stuck in my head from Sherlock Holmes.
For some reason I didn't put that together. I should stop reviewing movies because I just miss these integral plot lines.
I mean, it's not a 1-for-1 because this guy fought for the Japanese army. And...
Well, yeah, when he talks about World War II and Hiroshima and stuff.
But Pat,
his officer's katana or something,
Yeah, but no, I think he's supposed to get it because that's way nicer than an officer's katana. I think it's supposed to be from a kumite. Originally, I thought this guy was supposed to be a samurai, but I'm pretty sure he's like ninjutsu or some shit.
They don't explain it, and then also. Jean-Claude Van Damme's like, what'd you tell me? You tell me not to ever do one style, or and so it's all some made up stuff. That's what Frank Dukes learns.
Didn't Frank Dukes have his own martial arts studio?
Yeah, I think he was one of the.
It's like Duke Sru or somewhere.
Yeah, what it is every like few years or so there'll be a trend where someone tries to swindle you with martial arts.
It was Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu the last few years.
I mean, those are actual martial arts that you can use, though.
Yeah, a lot of them are if you strip away all the ceremony that goes with it.
Well, I mean, but Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu are like actually people compete in them, and you know they're like real shit.
Are you telling me there haven't been karate tournaments and taekwondo tournaments and kickboxing tournaments and
oh yeah,
and judo tournaments? Like they're all.
Well, I'm talking more like wushu,
yeah.
And aikido or whatever.
Yeah,
like those like legit fake ones. Well, there's even some of that in this one, the bomb deck or whatever, the made up brick breaking shit.
Yeah,
which is straight up taken from martial arts movies in like 80s martial arts books.
I think it's based on like death like old like Chinese folklore shit.
Yeah, which I mean that's just not real. People trying to sell you that shit in the 80s, like fucking Frank Dukes. That's just not real. Well, the thing about martial arts now is because of
the 80s.
Well, because of the like MMA and stuff, it's kind of like filtered to the top, like which martial arts are actually effective, since it's people trying to actually beat the shit out of each other. Because even in karate, you know, it's like a point system and it's really regimented and stuff. And it seems like when you filter it down to like, all right, use everything you know.
Well, that's not even how that MMA is not even really built that way though, because they have like you can't elbow when you're on the ground.
That's UFC rules. I'm not talking just UFC specifically.
Okay.
Just mixed martial arts in general. And
but
like,
yeah, even some of the I don't know, like even some of those have rules that I'm like, well, in a real fight, I would just poke you in the fucking eye.
Well, that's the thing though. My point was just gonna be the martial arts that seem to actually be most effective at this point are things like jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and just straight up boxing and stuff. Not spooky kicks. I mean, Muay Thai is just Thai kickboxing, so yeah, kicking and punching that's how you win. Or apparently being really good at wrestling and just really strong.
Well, I think being really strong and having really good grip strength and having almost no skills beyond that would serve you pretty well in MMA.
Well, that's what's his Khabib.
He's got wrestling talent, sort of.
Yeah, but that's all he does is just pin you down and make it so you can't do anything else, right? So I guess that's how you win fights, guys.
Not real fights. Again, because like in a real fight, you can't, if you go to the ground...
Oh, yeah, because remember, everyone's mad Conor was elbowing him like back the head, and it's like, seems like that should be, you know, fine with the rules. Yeah. To get on TV and have sporting events in Las Vegas and shit, you gotta make sure it's not too brutal. This fight to the death. That's why people need to participate in actual kumite.
Well, kumite, too, you're not supposed to fight to the death either.
They let Chong Li kill a few people.
Well, he kills one dude.
I thought he killed, like... No, he kills the dude in the beginning and then the dude at the end where they're all like, oh, fuck.
No, I don't think he kills that dude in the beginning. I just think they kind of film it that way, but I don't think he actually kills him. Oh. I think the only guy he kills is the one guy from the previous tournament that they talk about. Uh-huh. And that's kind of seems like an accident. He kicks him in the throat and he dies. But this one, he purposely killed the dude. And the Black Dragon are like, not for us.
Whack.
You know, like if you kill a guy by accident in the Kumite, I mean, like, it happens, but you had him beat.
I'm going to start my own Kumite. It's going to be called Kumite Tumite.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. And in that one, it's going to be all about killing. I don't know how.
Because like
I don't know how we're gonna get away with covering up all these murders,
but even like Roman gladiators didn't usually fight to the death.
No, because why would you want your property? Your trained property.
I spent a lot of money on this guy.
Yeah. They do mention so the Triad are letting Kumite take place in Hong Kong. Yeah. And the Triads run the walled city, or they historically did kind of. So. Presumably they're able to, if someone dies, they can kind of just be like, you know, whatever, the Triads will take care of it. But that's probably why they're bummed out. Like, man, we can't have too many of these people dying. The Triad will get mad. But he does kill. You think he kills Frank Jackson.
Yeah.
He fights him. But he just has to go to the hospital for a while.
That guy knows no martial arts.
Nah, he's just a big white guy.
Like, I mean, really, that's how he beats everybody up by just being bigger than them.
Which, I mean, unfortunately, like...
That's how it works. That's why there's weight classes in a lot of these combat sports.
Yeah, some of them really specific, too, because, like, 10 pounds can make a difference. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes if you're big, you just hurt other people. You just be like, no thanks. Just punch him in the face. His fighting style is just overhand, like give him like double axe handles and stuff, like right to their face.
When his fight with Chong Li, he has Chong Li beat. He just doesn't finish him.
I don't know if that dude could beat Bolo Yeung in real life though. Bolo Yeung's like, I don't know. I feel like that guy can just like
one punch.
He punched people's hearts out.
Just like in Kung Pao into the fist.
Yeah, when he punches out his stomach, that guy returns with it as a weapon. It's a really underrated film.
Anybody interested in a good comedy kung fu movie? Kung Pao, Enter the Fist.
It's definitely like a classic within like
a cult classic.
I mean, like even cult cinephiles and stuff generally don't recognize it. People usually just think it's a bad movie. But within our collective of our dad and us, one of the best movies ever made. And you know what? I feel like I could write an essay, like, or do like a YouTube video essay and make an argument for it. Because it's just like next level satire.
It is really good.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of nuts. Shit, I wish we could watch that.
Try my fist to your face technique, or your fist to my face technique.
I can't wait until we're like year 6 of this podcast where there are no rules. We're just watching random shit.
We're reading that real fast.
Yeah, it was originally the concept was we were just gonna watch canon films.
Yeah,
but then there's like a lot of them I didn't want to watch, and then it does put like an end date on your podcast because you can only do like 296 episodes. Fuck
not with 80s movies. We'll never run out of those.
No, there's probably like at least 1,000 of them.
Right, gotta be.
Gotta be.
They the first time Frank and Ray Jackson meet, they play Karate Champ.
Yeah, Karate Champ, that video game where you just use 2 joysticks.
They're not playing it right. I don't think they're moving their joysticks the correct way. For at least from what I remember, it's been 20 plus years since I played Karate Champ.
I feel like remember Scandia?
I remember Scandia.
In Fairfield, I guess.
No, Vallejo? It wasn't. I guess maybe.
I don't think it was Vallejo. I don't know. It was in the North Bay.
Arcadia.
Yeah, it might have been Arcadia. I don't know. That'd be crazy if it was Scandia in Arcadia. And
in Arcade?
Whoa. But I feel like they used to have Karate Champ there. It was in the section where it was also like, here's this oldest arcade baseball game you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last time I remember seeing it.
I think it was right next to the Virtual Fighter.
Virtual Fighter. Oh, man, what a game that was. Good times at the arcade. I haven't been to the arcade in forever.
I go to Dave & Buster's every once in a while with the kids, but once every 6 months or so.
Yeah, but they don't have, like...
Yeah, it's not like a real arcade. Yeah. Not like you can go play Street Fighter against all the other kids for an hour.
Put your quarters up there. Mm-hmm. Classic shit. You break the quarter rules, man. Get yourself kicked in the dick. Oh, shit, that reminds me of... I forgot to bring it up last week for the Great Outdoors, but remember the classic line that our dad loves where, hot dogs are made out of lips and assholes. But in the background of that scene, which this is where I was like, oh, John Candy's the man. He's like, I guess I'm old fashioned. I like eating assholes. And I was like, damn, I wish I could like get that on a shirt. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, you get it, John Candy. He's just like cutting edge. This is before everyone was talking about eating ass. So he wasn't old fashioned. He was actually like futurist.
He's on the cutting edge eating ass.
Yep, rest in peace, John Candy, original booty eater. Oh shit! Jean-Claude Van Damme gets his booty out in this movie.
He does.
You knew it was gonna happen. He does it in like so many movies. He just loves his butt.
He does the splits in so many movies too. Like, this movie has to be the most he does. He does splits like 8 times in this movie.
7 times.
7?
7 times.
Crazy.
I guess it's impressive, but then it's like at this point in my life, knowing that Jean-Claude Van Damme can do the splits and he loves doing the splits and he just always does the splits. He's
just like, yeah, it's Jean-Claude. I know what you do.
You were good at splits. Is that supposed to make him tough or what? He does like so the a lot of the training he does with his master Tanaka. Mm-hmm. I was like, these scenes in a different movie, this could be a really weird like
homoerotic.
Yeah, like so he's just in,
It's
like
Brokeback Mountain, but with martial artists instead of cowboys.
He's like, I really want an older Japanese man to just some like light like BDSM stuff. Because the part where he's got him in the ropes and he's like,
oh yeah, that one's weird.
Stuff, I was like, is this gonna turn into like some shibari stuff?
And the weird look Frank's given Tanaka. Feel my power, Tanaka.
Yes, I was like, oh wow. Or when he's just beating him with a stick. That's the training I want to do. Like, someone coming here, beat me with some bamboo. Get tough.
I will say for a Japanese guy that fought in World War II, obviously grew up in Japan and probably fought for either the Imperial Army or Navy. Not much of an accent.
No, pretty good in English. He's
way better than Jean-Claude Van Damme, who has apparently lived his entire life in America. Or is he supposed to be an American with a weird ass voice?
No, so when his master goes to meet his parents in that one scine.
Oh yeah,
he's like, you came to America from France, and then,
he's Belgian.
Yeah, he's like, well, I'm technically. I don't know. He became Barat.
Yeah, very nice martial arts, kick good.
What's also interesting about it is he's like towards the end of the flashback, or I guess when we return to normal time, his master's dying. He's like, oh, I feel like an old man, but he still looks like he's like 40.
Yeah, those Asians.
Yeah, that's true. I guess the Asian people, it's just us white folk that age so badly. But I've got a trick for all you white folk listening out there. Just try to stay out of the sun. Like, that's kind of all there is to it. Like,
or suntan lotion.
Yeah, like our skin doesn't have as much melanin, so the sun hurts. It'll make you get old fast. So just stay out of the sun. Be a vampire.
Well, speaking of which, I need to start watching What We Do in the Shadows. Apparently, it's really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know it's got the Toast of London, also known as Dixon Bainbridge from the Mighty Boosh. I love that guy, so it might be worth watching. And then I think the first episode, Tycho and Jermaine wrote, right?
Yes, and they were in the most recent episode, too.
Cool. I like to refer to them as if I'm friends with them, because they're like, I feel like they'd probably be the coolest friends to have. Oh, yeah, Tycho and Jermaine. Yeah, sometimes Brit. Or Reese.
Reese
Darby.
I like to hang out with Reese Darby.
It'd be cool if they were in Bloodsport.
Kumite.
Have you Eagle vs. Shark has like a Bloodsport type game in it that Jermaine's character is the best at. Have you ever seen Eagle vs. Shark?
No, I haven't.
It's Taika's first like full length movie. It's pretty.
You said it was really good, so I might watch it.
He doesn't have a bad movie, to be honest. They just get better.
Just like Steven Spielberg.
Well, I mean, Thor Ragnarok, like, it's one of the better Marvel movies, but it's a step down from Hunt for the Wilder People for sure. And boy.
And What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah. But it's not a bad movie. It's just not as good as other stuff. And then his new movie.
I'll say watching Bloodsport really made me want to write a martial arts movie. I feel like this has been a long time since there's been a really good one.
I can never think of any. I feel like the first Matrix was the last like mainstream kung fu western American, like a western film that was kung fu, right?
And then let's see, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon came around at the same time, and then they had Hero.
The guy who directed Hero's got a new movie that's going to be coming out in the United States that looks pretty cool.
I don't know. Hero was garbage.
Yeah, and had like the House of Flying Daggers that he also directed. That was really good.
I think I turned that one off.
13 Assassins, Takeshi Miike's movie that came out a few years ago. It's kind of Seven Samurai, but ultra violent. That one's pretty good.
I also draw a distinction between samurai movies and martial arts movies.
Yeah, because you mean like kung fu, like
I mean like kung fu or like Bloodsport.
I can't think of any. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. They had made a sequel, right? That was on Netflix. I never watched it. It didn't have Zhang Ziyi in it, so why would I watch it?
Was Chow Yun-Fat even in it? I don't think he was.
I don't think. I don't know. I had such a crush on Zhang Ziyi back in the day.
I remember you having a crush on Zhang Ziyi.
Ooh, she's a beautiful woman. She still is, but now she's like married and has kids and stuff, so I can never be with her.
Yeah, that's probably the only reason.
Also, she's like wealthy and famous and stuff. Yeah, but she was great in that movie. I love Zhang Ziyi. Still do. I'm gonna watch Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon again.
Watch the sequel after this. They make Frank test his might.
Test your might. Remember that shit in the Mortal Kombat game?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is why they stole it exactly from this. Yeah. There's a lot of those fighting games. Street Fighter 2 had the one where you beat up the car.
Mm-hmm. There's just like little mini games that people thought you needed in video games because Mario had them, so everyone else tried to do it a little bit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we also forgot my favorite character was introduction is Mr. Lin.
Oh, I think you said April O'Neil.
Oh no, she's just a prop they use. I was watching this movie and I was like, yeah, man, patriarchy was just kind of running rampant. But yeah, Mr. Lin, their guide through Hong Kong, he's great. I love
Mr. Lin.
Yeah, he's just like, come on, man, I got a reputation to uphold. He just seems like
he's been watching too much American television.
Yeah, he just seems cool. I don't know. He seems like he knows what it is.
Oh, like, USA, okay, USA,
okay, USA. Yeah, I mean,
a guy with a deep.
If I went over to Hong Kong to fight in,
you would want Mr. Linda.
Yeah, like he instills confidence in me. Like I was like, he probably knows the streets. He seems to know.
Unless he was like all on Frank's side. He's like, yeah, Frank, you can do it.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, that's Chong Li. He's a dick. Which he does seem like a dick.
Yeah, Chong Li's such a dick in this. He's really great. He's terrifying to a certain extent. Like especially when the crowd's cheering for him and he gets into it and he's pumping his fist and he's like crazy look on his face.
Yeah, but
he's a really good villain considering he has like 2 lines.
I mean, you don't need very much dialogue in this movie to be honest. Yeah. It's not like the plot's difficult, except for we did need that.
There's a lot of weird exposition dumps in this movie.
Yeah, and we needed that very important scene with Hassan. He looks like he's a Berber, I guess. I don't.
But I think he's Hispanic, right?
Yeah, I don't. I think they just cast whoever, and they were like, "Here you go."
Yeah, put a turban on him.
Yeah. But we get that really important scene with him getting a magic trick done to him, so that Jean-Claude Van Damme can win a woman.
It's supposed to. Yeah, it's how Jean-Claude Van Damme meets the woman. Yeah. That's the other thing. Like the Kumite reporter, there's no reason for her to be in it either.
No, that's just because Frank Dukes is like, yeah, I was also banging a lot of white women while I was there. Let's have an explicit sex scene.
I have a question.
My dick's really big.
If this reporter was really in it and she was it really happened, she was following Frank Dukes around and she was writing a story on the Kumite. Where's the story on that Kumite?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a real good question. And she didn't even die in it or anything to not ever finish the story.
Yeah. She's like, oh, I gotta honor the sacred tradition of the Kumite and not talk about it. Even though she's like, at various points, she either hates or loves it.
Yeah, I don't.
Like when Frank's winning, she's like, yeah, oof.
That's the thrill of the fight, though, honestly. The
thrill of the fight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Another feature of canon films, there's Kumate's got a theme song.
Kumite. The soundtrack in this is great. I like it.
It's just, yeah.
It's perfect for the movie.
Really, just a bloodless 80s pop rock about fighting hard and doing the kumite. Yeah, it's good. It's real good, especially the montage with all the fights when it first.
There's a couple montages. There's a training montage, right, with him and Tanaka. There's the first fighting montage.
Yeah, that's the one I like.
Before,
because that's when that first time you hear the kumite theme song, and it's like a lot of people doing hook kicks softly over other guys' shoulders.
Yeah,
like I mean, you don't want to hurt them. A lot of these guys were actual fighters that were competing, so. Don't want to just go, oh yeah, I'm going to go film this movie for a day or two, and then, oh no, my career's ruined.
I think I read that Jean-Claude Van Damme actually knocked somebody out accidentally.
Yeah, he accidentally elbows one of the Muay Thai guys. Man, the old school like Muay Thai look, remember Adon in Street Fighter 2?
Yeah.
He always like had it too, but like the headband with the high shorts and the little like
that's a cool
belt
look.
wrap, and then your hands and your feet taped, and they always have that cool stance.
I don't know. Every time I see that stance, I'm like, man, that does not look as effective as
they
think it should be.
Usually use it anymore. Like,
yeah.
I don't see anyone using it in Muay Thai anymore, but it does look sufficiently intimidating, because it just seems like effortless and like animalistic. But then, how would you get enough the kinetic chain to punch? I don't know how you would get it from that position.
Unless you're punching. I guess most of the time I would be punching downward anyway. So.
Yeah, you would be. Well, no, I'm sure they could find plenty of giant Muay Thai fighters. There's
how to fight Brock Lesnar?
I don't think he knows Muay Thai. He's like more of a throw guy. He like knows how to throw people.
he's
a wrestle guy.
He's a wrestle guy.
Yeah, he's a throw man.
He's oh, please don't punch me in the face guy.
Yeah, he just suplexes everywhere. That's how he gets around too. He picks up his wife and suplexes
her. Which
I didn't mean for that dark joke to be as dark as it is because I think he has been accused of domestic
Oh, has he?
abuse.
Oh, I haven't heard that about Brock Lesnar.
I was just thinking it was a funny picture.
I just picture like the chain suplexes that people do.
Yeah, he's just like time to go to the grocery store.
You know, there's like a hurdy-gurdy playing or something.
It's Yaki sex.
Don't call back.
Oh shit! Don't talk back. And Brock Lesnar suplex you to the grocery store. He's crazy big. Obviously, it's steroids, but part of it's got to be also just him being from the Midwest, eating a lot of corn syrup, right?
Yeah, and it's genetics and steroids. It's a combination.
Yeah, that's where the biggest people in the United States are, right? On the Midwest.
We're not from the Midwest.
I mean, like, oh yeah. Well, ours is just more genetics than anything, I guess. But I swear, that's where like all the like linemen and stuff, like all the quarterbacks in the NFL come from Texas, but then all the linemen and shit are from like
I could have been a lineman.
Midwest. Those giant fools. I'm telling you, it's because they're out there just eating.
Out there drinking milk and eating corn,
putting pancakes and direct corn syrup directly on it.
You put corn syrup directly on your pancakes. That's all maple syrup. Maple syrup is corn syrup.
Oh, I'm about to blow your mind. I think you actually already know this, but I eat my pancakes plain.
Yeah, I knew it. Well, or powdered sugar. That's what you used to do as a kid.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Funny story.
Syrup. For some reason, what it is, I have a distinct memory of getting syrup on my hands when I was like 4 or 5 years old
and hating it.
And yeah, hating the feeling, and then not being able to like, even though like mom tried, like I just like, the whole day it was bothering me. Ever since then, I was like, you know what? I don't mess with syrup.
my kids don't like maple syrup. They use powdered sugar on their pancakes too.
Yep, makes sense to me. Your kids, my kids now. You know what? I bet Chung Lee doesn't have syrup on his pancakes either.
I bet he doesn't eat syrup. He probably eats pure fish.
He just probably eats protein powder nonstop.
It's pure protein. He walks around with a spoon and protein powder.
Yeah, that'd be so dry. I had hemp protein powder for a little bit. Mm-hmm. It tastes kind of like dirt. Like it had like a distinct aftertaste.
Honestly, I don't like protein powder. I've never had any that I can really stomach. I'd rather just eat more eggs.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't have time. Sometimes you just want to drink a powdery milkshake. They have cockroach protein powder. I might try that.
I've eaten cockroaches before.
Yeah, like little baked guys, right?
Mm-hmm. They had like a honey, honey and chili powder, some sort of spice.
Yeah, I've never had cockroaches, but I have had crickets or grasshoppers, too. Whichever locusts.
And I've had mealworms too.
Yeah, and worms, and also one time I really wanted to try like these like Cajun spice like fried spiders they had, but like we never got around to like getting to them. But I was like, I'm gonna eat a spider. I'll show you spiders. I'm not afraid of you. I eat you. Chung Lee would eat stuff like that for sure. He just seems like a crazy guy.
I feel like he just eats his fellow competitors.
Just a wild and crazy guy.
That's me out here. He also tries to cheat to win.
When I was watching this movie, I was like, I wonder if I can try to do another episode where I swing Chung Lee as being the hero, and Jean-Claude Van Damme being this gringo invader. But it didn't work. Chung Lee's just crazy.
Yeah. Is there any particular reason they changed the stage for the last fight, or is it just because they wanted to have a different look?
Probably just because this is the last fight, so let's flash it up. So in the final fight, when he pulls the salt out of his waistband and throws it in Jean-Claude's eyes, I hate how long it takes for them to be like, because the whole thing is he's trained for it, you know?
Right, but there's such a long sequence between him becoming the,
Yeah, I'm like, no, it shouldn't have been that long. There's like trying to create drama, but like the Game of Thrones writers, it's treating the audience just like they're retards.
Well, it's canon film.
Yeah. Oh, I apologize for saying retard. I don't normally say that. But that might get cut.
I was going to upload...
I'm not Nick DePaula. I don't have all those hot takes that the Millennium Snowflakes really need to hear.
Does anybody get shit on more than white Western European men? Vince Lombardi.
Yeah, man, I'm really feeling oppressed all the time. Well, I mean, I am, but like that's like economically.
Yeah, no, I feel like poor because I'm poor, not because of my white skin.
That's a class struggle.
I was gonna upload us playing Friday the 13th, but you used the word retard like 4 times.
You know what's funny? I was high as shit when we were playing that game. I was like right when Mom got the medical card, and I was like, I haven't smoked in a while, but I bet I could eat like 2 gummy worms and be all right. I was all right, but I was just like high as shit. I remember like, we get the car running, and I just have like one other person in the car with me, and they're like, "We need to go back and get everyone else." I'm like, "Nah, it's just you and me, baby. I left my own brother." I just drove off and won the game.
That reminds me. I was looking through Steam the other day. Dead by Daylight has like a Ash versus Evil Dead episode now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we should try to play Dead by Daylight. I like the Friday the 13th, like the whole setup, like you versus one, monster kind of thing. But there's just not enough maps. It was all kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it was all just that one forest, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it was they had other camps, but they all looked exactly the same.
Yeah. Well, it was the same camp from different movies, which Camp Crystal Lake kind of looks the same in every movie.
Yeah, they couldn't have given us New York.
Oh yeah, remember when he knocks the boxer's head off? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. One day we're just going to have to do a marathon of Friday the 13th, and then we'll have a 4-hour podcast about it. We'll have like rotating guests and stuff. This is for the future when we're famous. I want to get Joe Bob Briggs on the podcast.
Get Kevin Smith.
Hell yeah. And you can get Kevin Smith. I'm getting Joe Bob Briggs. And I want to see them interact.
They probably already met.
I'm sure they have, yeah. Alright, so, whatever. Jean-Claude Van Damme wins. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot I know how to fight blind. And so he does. Also, I don't know about you, but I've had, like, dirt and salt and shit thrown into my eyes and stuff. And it's like, your eyes kind of take care of it pretty quick.
Yeah, it doesn't last very long, usually.
You just kind of rub them. And make sure you get them all nice and juicy and wet. And then you cry. But you can see.
Can you imagine that? That's the real fun act.
Like
you should have made yourself cry. And just like red eyes, tears streaming down his face, and just completely beating the shit out of him.
One time I want to fight like that. Because, you've ever been like so angry that like it, for some reason, it just comes out as like, yeah. Like one time some dude grabbed my girlfriend like a few years ago. And like, yeah, I've been drinking or whatever. And like, yeah, for some reason it was just like, I was overwhelmed by like, anger and other emotions at once, and just started fighting him like as I was like crying because I was so angry. So it's probably a really weird time for him. That's just funny. I don't live that toxic masculinity lifestyle anymore. I
have not been in a fist fight since I was in elementary school.
I hadn't been for a long time, since probably junior high or something, and then going most of my life being okay. But then for some reason when you start like hanging out, drinking and doing drugs and partying and going to bars and stuff, you run into a lot of people that you can fight with. I don't mean to say it was toxic masculinity or anything. I was just trying to protect my girlfriend, but alcohol doesn't make you react to things normally.
Yeah.
So I don't hopefully we don't get a bunch of hate from listeners when they listen to this episode and they're like, you guys fucking suck.
I didn't find anybody. You suck.
I actually don't care because I'm Nick DiPaolo.
You're oppressed.
Yeah. Why won't you let me just fight people? That's good for society, right? That said, I do think we need to have more martial arts stuff in society.
Well, if you need to explain it, martial science is for the body and the mind that come together.
Spirit, all coming together. It's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Martial arts is God. Bloodsport, does it still hold up?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, it was everything I was expecting it to be. Choreography, though, I was disappointed with the choreography.
Yeah, choreography's not great.
Especially because, did you watch it on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, I did.
At the end of, like, the description, like, the last sentence is just, like, intense action scenes after they actually describe the plot. Intense action
You're like, oh, yeah, intense.
I was like, hell yeah, this better be intense. And then they got to the flashback, and I was like, wait a minute. It's not going to be intense. I like when his son beats him up, and he's like, why don't you just give up, round eye? That's my favorite, like...
Why is he being so racist?
That's my favorite, like, racial slur of all time.
Round eye?
Yeah, like, it's just like, yeah, you got him.
But to bring it back to the Last Dragon episode, I feel like when we write the Shogun of Harlem, we'll largely use like the plot point of Bloodsport. It'll be like a tournament to crown the new Shogun of Harlem.
Yeah, who's the king of Harlem? Hell yeah, I got lots of ideas for that.
That'll be after we write the Florida Man vs. the Aliens.
Mm-hmm. Would it be like an alternate reality Harlem, or did you somewhat grounded in reality?
I would just use the same kind of reality they used in the original Last Dragon. Like it's like all these crazy cats have like their own world that are
like it's a martial arts world in 80s Harlem. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty. That's pretty cool, man. That would be a cool movie. I hope someone makes it someday. Man. Jesus and Mero talk about The Last Dragon quite a bit.
Oh, do they? I don't watch them. I follow them on Twitter, but I don't really watch them on the podcast.
We get some financing from them. Like, hey, come on, man. Let these two white boys make The Last Dragon sequel. Come on, man. Come on.
Come on. Come on. Come on. We'll be like, does the April O'Neil have a name in this movie?
Vicky. No, she does, but I don't know if anyone ever says it. Because the interaction she has with any of the characters is Jean-Claude Van Damme winning her with the magic trick, and he's like, "I get the coin and I get the woman."
I do like,
"Come on, woman."
Yeah. I do like that. After he sleeps with her and he's leaving, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't really help you." And she's like, "That's all right. I'll live." And then she had already tricked somebody else into letting her into the Kumite.
Yeah. For a second, I was going to be like, oh, man, they really went for it. Because I thought it was going to be like, she's like, oh, it doesn't matter now that I got that dick. That's all that matters in the world for a woman is good dick and a good man. I don't care about my career at all anymore. And I thought that was going to be the end of it for a second.
She's like, nope.
And I was like, oh, thank God she just hustled this man. You love to see it, honestly.
Especially in 88.
Yeah, you love to see it. Once again, the choreography wasn't the best. Also, not as ultra violent as I wanted, which segues into the next film we're gonna watch. It's fucking happening. We're gonna watch some anime.
It's time.
Anime.
Gundam. Mobile Suit Gundam. Char as Noble. And Amuro. Amuro!
Mobile Suit Gundam from 1979, right?
Yeah, it still works. 79 to 90 is what we can do.
Yeah, whatever.
No, I was kidding.
No, we're actually gonna watch Fist of the North Star, which is probably gonna be just as like cheesy now as Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yeah, it probably would be.
But I haven't seen it in a long time. It was just one of those things that would like be on the Sci-Fi Channel occasionally, and that one like Zoram. But
heavy metal.
Yeah, heavy metal. Oh man, we'll watch heavy metal eventually. I actually really like heavy metal. So yeah, we're gonna watch Fist of the North Star. It's gonna be dope. A lot of people like Mobile Suit Gundam and its different iterations, but it's interesting when it's these weird, white dude neckbeards on the internet that are like pro-militarization and all the like weird, shitty stuff like that. It's like, oh, so you didn't pay attention to everything in Mobile Suit Gundam being war, huh? You're just like cool robots and fights. It's all about being against war. It's all about war's bad.
What are you talking about? Rumba Raw loved war. Loved it.
I'm glad that like the Metal Gear Solid storyline franchise kind of like ended before there was this weird right-wing reactionary stuff to every video game. Because I can just imagine them being like, why isn't Snake out there killing the minorities?
Oh shit!
And it's like, holy shit, man! Do you not know what Metal Gear Solid's about?
I'm pretty sure they're teasing another Metal Gear right now.
Well, what, Konami?
Yeah.
So well,
who doesn't want Metal Gear Solid that Kohima didn't do? Everyone is the answer.
Yeah, that's crazy because Konami basically they just make the pachinko games because they make tons of money off of those.
Gambling company now.
Yeah,
they should sell the Metal Gear Solid IP to somebody.
Sell it to Kojima.
He can't afford it. They have to sell it to like Sony or Nintendo.
Wow, man, that'd be cool if they sold it to Sony and then could. Actually, I don't think they need to make any more Metal Gear Solid games.
No, I think they should just sell it to Nintendo and then make mobile versions for the Switch, and then I'll die a happy man.
Yeah, I hope Death Stranding comes out soon.
It's never coming out.
No, E3's coming up. There's definitely... I bet they're going to have a release date this E3.
It's coming out with the PlayStation 5. Congratulations.
No, I have a feeling it'll be one of the last like big releases for the PlayStation 4.
And then he'll immediately start working on his PlayStation 5 game, which won't come out until the PlayStation 5 is about to stop.
Probably. Well, it'll be alright though. Death Stranding gonna be the best video game of all time. I'm calling it now. As a person that doesn't like most video games anymore and has no idea why everyone likes all these other video games. So hopefully it's a video game that appeals just to me and nobody else likes it.
Space Force. So, as always, guys, you can find us at midventureproductions.com. I'm on Twitch streaming Resident Evil every day. The kids are out of school. I might start streaming video games with them. And at some point, I'm going to actually stream Metal Gear. That'll be what I do next after Resident Evil. You got to play Resident Evil 5 with me. I'm almost done with Resident Evil 4.
I'm probably quitting my job in about...
tomorrow.
Man, I wish.
You should quit tomorrow. Let's go, we'll go to the movies.
We can go to the movies. I don't just have to quit. I can just not show up. Well, part of my plan is to see if I can get fired. But, like, I feel like it's going to be impossible for me to get fired from there.
Just keep calling sick. They'll have to fire you eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
This part will get cut so they don't know his secret plan. Also, we're on Twitter, and we got a Patreon. Yeah. We'll be releasing some Dungeons and Dragons bonus episodes soon. I don't know.
Oh,
shit, man. Watch Fist of the North Star.
Fist of the North Star.
Also watch Game of what episode 7 of Game of Thrones is on tonight?
No, it's only 5.
So how many more left? 2 after this or 1?
One more.
One more? So okay.
One tonight and then one next week. Yeah.
So watch that so we can complain about it next week.
Yeah, so you're aware of. I think everything's probably gonna get blown up in King's Landing tonight. I think that's the episode.
It's gonna explode.
They just blow shit up like Dragonfire or something. It's Dragonfire. I like when she blows up the Sept in the show. That was a cool shot, like where it's just.
Oh, I want to talk about it 2 seconds. I'm pretty sure what
happens.
It
was a dumb event, though.
I think what happens in Martin's version is that Cersei dies before the final book.
Oh yeah.
And Fagon takes over King's Landing.
Yeah. And
then the last battle is actually Fagon versus Daenerys.
Yeah, because he said there's gonna be another Dance of Dragons.
And I think that like what happens is what the hell's her name? Ariana from Dorne? The daughter of Dorne? Yeah. Ariana, yeah. She like seduces Fagon and marries him, and Dorne gets pulled into the war, so it's like the South versus the North. That's my theory.
Oh, interesting. Well, I mean, it's some of the major events that have happened might be similar to what Martin planned, but it's going to be way different.
I also don't think the White Walkers kill Viserion.
No, I think Euron takes.
I think Euron takes him with the dragon horn.
Yeah. I agree with that too. I think that's absolutely what happened. And in fact, one of the writers in one of the behind the scenes episodes said they thought it would be cool if the Night King got a dragon that breathed the ice, so they've made it happen. Said it was Blue Flame though. So basically what happened is they read some nerds post on Reddit about thinking ice dragons were cool, and they're like, yeah, we like dumb shit too. And they made it happen in their $1 million TV show.
You know what? I'm gonna be really pompous right now. Like I don't have any of the credits or claims that these dumbasses have, but I'm a better writer than both of them combined.
Who knows? It doesn't seem like they put any effort into it, to be honest. It's like shit.
I'm super excited for their Star Wars work. Oh man, is it gonna be amazing?
Man, who gives a fuck?
They don't have George R. Martin's fucking shit to pull from. I'm sure they're gonna be great when they're on their own because. X-Men Last Stand, which again they had the fucking Phoenix Saga and all of the previous X-Men work to pull off of, and they still did shitty with that.
That's not the X-Men movie they made, or he wrote X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
that's even worse.
So yeah, give him some credit, all right? He's worse than you're saying.
Space Force.
Yeah, Space Force. Thanks for listening to us complain about shit. We're the smartest guys on the internet, though, so. Fuck off, or I'll fight you while crying.
You can cut the thing if you think it's too pompous when you listen to it, but I don't actually think it's that pompous because I think these guys are complete shit.